Greetings viewers and welcome back. Red-Rupee here calling the shots for you tonight as always, and we've got another great match of DropZone coming in hot for you. On the blue side we've got Shrewdy, on the red side OCR-A, much preferred to OCR-B. I don't really know what that is, but that's our player. We'll just call him OCR. We are on Mind the Gap tonight. Our first picks are Vice and Warhead. Warhead rocking the Thresher, Flail, and ECM locks along with Sludge Tanks, which we almost always see landfall, especially on Mind the Gap, so that might be a bit surprising as far as I'm concerned. But Thresher, Flail, and ECM locks, definitely great options. Can lock down those auto attacks, but keep the damage going out. Definitely potentially useful for the turret meta we've been seeing more recently. Gunners coming in with Fury and Recon, with rockets on Recon's side, that lightning on Fury's, and then a pair of summoners with very different loadouts. We see Gravity Gun Null Field and Reconstructive Maneuver for Shrewdy, and the quintessential cloning laser inhibitor field and plasma drone build on General Vex. Let's turn off that fog of war. That's silly. We don't need that. And opening up, it looks like bunched up over here, all three rigs on 1 point. Meanwhile, Shrewdy spreading all over the place, grabbing his vision towers, getting that farming under control. And everyone just kind of hanging out. No one playing super aggressively, which is surprising because I feel like, as I've more often seen in these matches early on, at least with the high-level players, everyone used to play on their own side on Mind the Gap, but more recently everyone's kind of been jumping over and getting in each other's faces. I'd expect to see this Vex get to level 3 right away for OCR, but I'm not really entirely sure what Shrewdy's plan is. He obviously has his level 3 summoner. He's not running rockets with that gravity gun, which is almost always what you see. That combo can be super nasty if he can land a rocket barrage on all three teammates. Just as I was saying, they aren't playing super aggressive. General Vex hits level 3 and starts heading on in here against Fury. Drops the cloning laser down, the plasma drone as well. The summoner loadout has a lot of staying power, can really lock down positions and make it difficult for players to either get to the uplink or control their own vision towers. So Vision bouncing back and forth. Now Warhead over here with that Thresher Flail. Fury escaping out of there nice and quickly with those thrusters. Meanwhile, Recon on the far side still putting pressure on that total vision as we look. Let's see, we haven't even talked about the objectives. Eradicate looking pretty good for the blue team right now. OCR-A about 25 Kavash ahead on that bonus point, but about to lose a rig on both sides. Both gunners down now, but those cloning lasers are out, and as their name would imply, they are cloning themselves. Every time they get that kill, they do spawn an additional laser, and they do 105 DPS, which is equivalent to having essentially another rig on the field. So it's definitely something you have to keep in mind. You can see that summoner not even wanting to tangle with that. Vice pretty down there, and after that first initial team fight scuffle, the score is 2-0. It's gonna go get a single point on the board for OCR, get him into this game. But as it stands right now, 2-0. Vision Towers looking pretty perilous right now. With all three rigs for OCR on the field, he could definitely put some pressure and maybe potentially steal those 2 points for total vision. But as it stands right now, Shrewdy looks like he's going to start pushing for that Eradicate bonus points. Again, General Vex out here on her own, always dropping those turrets and mines on the Vision Tower, trying to make sure she can keep control of that without needing either of the other two rigs, which are both out there farming right now, trying to knock out that last level 1 hive. You can see those level 1 hives out on the furthest north and south side of the map are usually the last ones to go down. Are working on a level 2 and now strikes on the field, so those alphas and the speed of their farm is going to be very important. So you want to pressure on your opponent and maybe try to steal an alpha or two, but you don't want to team fight to the point that you fall behind on those alpha kills. Eradicate goes to Shrewdy as we expected, who was keeping a little bit ahead of the farming throughout the game here. You can see he's about a full, or maybe about a half a level at this point. Nope, it's going to be a full level. I misspoke. Once that hive goes down, he'll be level 8 to OCR's level 7.
The founders will
I'm not sure entirely where all that bonus experience... I guess it was just the one level 2 hive here, because this one just went down as well. But now 2 turrets on the field along with plasma drones hanging out there to kind of lock down that uplink. General Vex now gonna upload some cores on her own while Warhead and Recon deal with this level 2 hive, but we can see Shrewdy's coming back onto the field here shortly. Found these defenses out here on their own without the support of any rigs, so he's just going to break those apart, slowly move forward, not walking into that field of fire. The inhibitor field goes down, but kind of a waste because his enemy did not commit to any sort of fight. But the cooldown on that is surprisingly low. It doesn't actually do any damage, but it stalls all auto attacks, so it's definitely something
you can do
to be feared when utilized correctly. But that one right there just kind of was a mild deterrent at best. Mazer Flare going down from this Recon, which is an ability we don't see very often. But you can see the fog of war from the red team. It actually exposes this whole area past the uplink, which really helps a lot when you're dealing with team fights just outside of this uplink. Recon with that battle frenzy, getting some big damage in, manages to escape just barely with 8 HP. I don't know if that was planned or what, but Fury paid the price for it. That was when it's down to single-digit HP. I gotta always feel like maybe the player got a little lucky. I can't say that was entirely planned. I knew that I could take exactly 95 hit points. It's possible. But OCR, one way or another, getting that Recon out of there and back to the safety of that dropship, healing up 4-4 now, all evened up, about to be 5-4, and with these turrets down on the uplink, it makes it very difficult for the opponent to approach on Mind the Gap. Vice now just taking a lot of damage. He's going to tank it away, it looks like. General Vex is actually pretty low. This is a tough engagement for her to be popping into. Oh, wow, Pandora goes in there. Drops the Litany of Plagues, takes out the turret and the opposing summoner. Still under watch from that Mazer Flare from OCRA. He grabbed himself a couple cores from that Southern Hive, now moving back into position, trying to get himself some lead back forward again, but we'll see how it goes because there are still 2 healthy rigs out here as the tank goes back to heal. However, you don't want to be fighting with these Kavash on your tail at this uplink. Recon's doing a good job of ducking in and out of there, trying to make sure he can add some damage onto those Kavash. Meanwhile, he still has plenty of cores back there for Warhead to keep bringing onto the field. Looks like Shrudy's just going to decide to go ahead and knock out these bugs. I always like taking out this level 3 hive that's right near the uplink myself, because otherwise, as you see, oh, stolen alpha from Recon, dropping the rockets in there. Thanks to that Mazer Flare, he was able to watch his opponent farming and actually managed to steal that alpha. Now it's all going to be on Shrewdy whether he wants to move forward and try to steal an alpha back, because otherwise OCRA is going to have the advantage on that alpha strike, because you can only get 9 alphas from either side of this map. With OCR taking that steal, that puts the 4-point objective within his grasp, and it's Shrudy's prerogative to make the invade on OCR's side and get this together. As it stands right now, it looks like OCR is starting to get a bit of a lead here, dunking these last couple cores he has from his level 2 hives. As all of his level 3s start spawning around the map, it's going to be a 4-point lead. There are plenty of cores on Shrudy's side of the map, so I don't think that lead is terribly significant at the moment, so long as Shrewdy can manage to start getting some dunks in and maybe win a team fight or two, at least rout OCR from the uplink at some point. But with this General Vex loadout, that's going to be probably very difficult. With the cloning lasers and plasma drones out here, he's chosen a good time now that OCR is wanting to finish off that level 3 hive for the time being.
Hear that? That's the
But
sound
Vice
of my
and the
bank
Recon
account rolling.
just chaining up these uploads, ferrying cores back and forth day in and day out here. I really like seeing the use of this Mazer Flare. It's actually been pretty important this game so far, being able to keep vision on approaching rigs. Granted, there's a very small choke point here at the uplink for rigs to approach. Oh man, dropping the silence, getting the Litany of Plagues down. Actually a little friendly fire there on her own rig, but might get the team kill out of it. Or sorry, the double kill. I spoke too soon. I saw 3 rigs die, so I thought team kill, but I kind of forgot that Pandora kind of did her own Vice in there. A little bit of danger close on that Litany of Plagues, but it looks like it may have worked out for the better in the long run. Warhead's out here with the Thresher Flail, but that's not really enough damage to scare off both Pandora and Fury. Fury being the tankiest of the gunners right there. Pandora just hops on out of there, leaving Warhead with a melee weapon against a ranged gunner, so long as Fury micros around correctly, that really shouldn't be much an issue for her. She does have the combat rush on top of the frame instability, so is lowering Warhead's armor, and Warhead only has 3 seconds. It looks like there's no way for Warhead to get out of there. OCR definitely overextended right there. Activated. Oh, the rockets! He was baiting for that rocket barrage, but it just narrowly missed. finishing off Fury there. Perhaps that was a bit optimistic, I think, that he thought that Warhead would have kept that rig around long enough to get eliminated by the rocket barrage. He probably could have just fallen back a little bit and maybe bought some time. That the sludge tanks did get activated at the last moment. Again, we're seeing the maser flare. Is that enough? Let's see, is that enough for... No, it's not enough to see the farming, so maybe if he had fired that a little higher, we would have seen him maybe trying to steal another alpha, but considering it's 6 to 9 right now, all he has to do is take out these two alphas on both of those level 3 hives. Now, again, General Vex just out here by herself trying to stall at the uplink, although, oh my goodness, that was a bit too ambitious, I think. Even with all those turrets, there's a plenty of AoE there to eliminate both of them. Now it's a 2-on-3 battle. Pandora looking pretty rough. Warhead's tanking through that ultimate, which is pretty surprising. And Fury now out here on... oh my gosh, I don't even know. Fury's on her own now, or rather Recon's on his own now. Fury's out here with Pandora. I'm getting my pilots all mixed up because it's been such a wacky team fight right there. Recon very quickly escaping with the help of that combat rush. Combat rush, of course, the lower your health gets, the faster your move speed gets, and the higher your damage outputs gets. That's why those lightning coils there are glowing so loudly. Recon's coming out at level 3. Both of these rigs are very low, so Recon, with the right maneuvering, could probably take them out. He doesn't have a utility weapon, though, so all he has to rely on is his auto attacks. 9 to 11 right now with 4 minutes left. It's actually a pretty rough situation for Shrewdy, considering that Alpha Strike's about to go down. I think Shrewdy either has to recognize this and start dunking right away, knowing that his opponent is going to be out farming, or has to take his gunner and get to the other side of the map and try to steal one of those alphas back. Total Vision is still on the field, so that's potentially a comeback potential for Shrewdy as well. But as it stands right now, yeah, it looks like there's no question. OCR knows he's going for the throw right now. 8 to 5 on the alpha kills, and there's no hope, I don't think, in Shrewdy getting down here to prevent this final kill, which is going to net a total of 4 more points, taking the score from 10 to 11 to 10 to 15. Now I think Shrewdy's only option is to try to maybe eliminate a rig and start putting some pressure on both the uplink and the vision towers at the same time, which is going to be difficult because he doesn't really have a strong solo rig like OCR does. OCR has that Vex that can kind of stand 1-on-2 if she chooses to lock down his position, but right now his best bet would be to fight with Pandora and Fury and then leave Vice back behind to grab that vision tower. I think it's a bit of an oversight that he isn't going for that. With only 3 minutes remaining, I'm not sure what he can do. He could start dunking these cores, but he needs to keep at least 2 of those rigs around. In the meantime, level 4 Recon over here now, blasting away at Pandora. Actually managed to get her down to about 60% health already. Oh no, and Total Vision actually perilously close to going down for OCR to maybe take that advantage even further. With 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining, that would probably be just about it for Shrewdy. Shrewdy has maybe a slight chance to get back into this or tie it up maybe, but he needs to lock down Total Vision or dunk 3 or so cores, and he only has 1 available here at the time being. Oh, Vice getting blasted full on by that rocket barrage, looking very low right now. Recon's going in for the kill. Will he get there in time? 1 more shot's not going to do it, and Vice escapes just narrowly once again to the dropship. Pandora dropping her full contingent of abilities, but unfortunately just a moment too late to protect Fury. Fury goes down there, and I think with her death, that's going to be just about it for Shrewdy. These turrets now out here. Vice can tank forward and stop that, so long as Pandora can get in there and prevent the upload. That would be 3 cores available to tie this game up. I can't believe he's not stopping Vex. He was just a moment too late, and that's pretty much it. Let's see, 1 rig goes down there. Recon's out here dropping rockets on Vice, but there's only 2 cores available, and I don't think there's any way for Shrewdy to get back into this with only 90 seconds remaining. Just lost his tank as well.
Vision captured.
And, wow, that was actually... I think if he had just managed to stop Pandora there, I guess the level 4 Recon still would have been there to fight Vice and Pandora. but it's pretty. It would have been close if he had stopped that upload. I think he maybe could have tied the game at least and taken it into overtime. But if you're down to the wire on that, I know he was worried about dealing with those turrets, but if he would have gotten Vice in there to tank the damage, he could have maneuvered his summoner into position, I think, to finish off that opposing uploading rig. Anyways, let's take a look. This match timeline right here, the Alpha Strike. I mean, that was effectively the killing blow. I think Shrewdy once recognized that after that Alpha was stolen, that you need to get into your opponent's face a little bit more aggressively farming. Interestingly enough, yeah, I can see, just looking at the kills right here, Shrewdy was ahead in the team fights. He got so many more kills than his opponent. 9 to what, 5 kills? So 9 to 5 kills, but he just obviously wasn't capitalizing on those kill timers. When he had the power play, I feel like there had to have been points where he could have either been pressuring Total Vision more, which ultimately never got scored, or getting in his opponent's hives and maybe stealing a couple alphas to even that Alpha Strike race out. But this just goes to show it's not all about the kills in this game. There's definitely deeper strategy to it than that, because if it was, Shrewdy would have been largely ahead that game, but unfortunately just wasn't able to control the uplink. That, what was it? That General Vex with Cloning Laser, Inhibitor Field, and Plasma Drone can really lock down the uplink area all on her own. Between the Cloning Lasers and Plasma Drones slowing enemies down and then dropping the Inhibitor Fields whenever they try to approach and take out the turrets, it's a stall if nothing else, since there's no other way to approach the uplink on Mind the Gap. And I think that's largely what prevented Shrewdy from uploading. If you look at the gaps between his uploads, he had cores on the map so often and wasn't able to capitalize on that. But anyways, check those builds out, try them yourselves. I think this is, what, the second game we've had with summoners in it. They've obviously made a huge impact recently. But I'm sure we'll see more of that. Maybe we'll try to get a 2-on-2 going here. I don't think we've had a 2-on-2 match on this channel quite yet. But anyways, that's it for me. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you've got some replays worth casting. I'll try to get them on the channel. And that's it for me. This is Red-Rupee. I'll catch you guys next time.